Welcome to another episode of Living from Crypto.
Yeah, so this morning we're seeing Bitcoin has come up just a little bit, touching the 11k, and hopefully we're going to see it push through there and see us progress further upwards as we pull out of this double bottom, if that is what we are currently in. Yeah, as you can see, we're at the time of talking, what we're at trading at 10,900. So yeah, hopefully we stay in this range and we keep pulling upwards. But of course, there's still a lot of bearish sentiment in the market, and people are quite uncertain. You know, the debate rages on. Will cryptocurrencies exist for a long time? Will they be here for a short time? As we're always saying on the show, we believe they're here for a very long time, and we're very sure that it's in fact the future. So yeah, if we're looking through other news that's been coming out today, you see that on the 26th of this month, and then a lot of people speculating whether or not this will cause a massive dip in the market. So it's definitely a time to look for.
They did a hell of a timing last week when the other futures contract ended. I mean, was that coincidental, or was that by design?
I don't know. I mean, it does seem very well timed. I think, it could be a strong factor there. Although on the other side, there's the argument that these contracts aren't actually that used yet, and there isn't that much vested in there. So I believe it's at around about 70 Bitcoin. Was being traded on the contracts. That was their value worth. They're settled in a dollar value, so they're a little bit of a confusing market maybe for new traders to understand. But essentially, it's a futures market where they have a strike date, they have a clearance date where the contract will expire, and you can either go long or short the market. And of course, if the the actual Bitcoin market moves below or above this strike price on their contract, on their futures contract, then someone will either profit or lose money on it, depending on which side of the trade they're in. So there is a conflict of interest here, obviously, for the clearance houses. When these contracts expire, if they are going to be very much on the other side of the trade and owing lots of money, let's say lots of people went long, and Bitcoin was at a very high level, then the clearance house will have to pay a lot. So there is a theory, which is one that is very viable, and I think as we see the futures getting used more, I think it definitely would happen. So the theory being, if they're going to be out of money on the futures, a whale or someone with a vested interest will dump the underlying market, in this case the Bitcoin market. So they will dump it to force the price down, just when the contracts strike, to essentially save the money on paying out all the longs. So it
makes sense to me. I mean, we know there's no main watchdog that's looking over all this insider trading stuff as in the crypto world. So, it's likely. It's not far-fetched. I mean, it's even likely in Wall Street. It just it's harder to.
I don't know. I mean, the SEC is probably. There is regulations in place, like there is, but on terms of the exchange, if someone doing this who has a conflict of interest, who owns enough Bitcoin to do that, it is possible. Although, it would require, I think it would require more people using the futures contracts to really be something that we see happening a lot. I think this was a combination of a much needed correction. The market got very overheated just before Christmas. We were going to go to the moon. It really felt like it. If you
I totally agree with you, but it just was weird how the timing was like to the T. You know what I mean? It was really perfect timing.
Yeah, it's just one of those amazing synchronicities, I think, of life. And it's going to happen again on the 26th. That will be, I think it will be probably a low day or lowish day as we come out of this double bottom. We were talking about on the show the other day, the 100 daily moving average. We're sitting around that right now. We're wobbling around that price point. On the lower range, hitting sort of like 9,800, and then on a high day we're hitting about 12k. So people, they like Bitcoin to move. We're here for a bull market, right? They're here for the drama, for the volatility as well. So I think investors will get a bit bored of that range, and it will break out at some point. I hear very different calls across the market. You look on TradingView, some people are very, very bullish, some are very, very bearish. It really depends on your stance of where you are. For me personally, I think the only way is up for Bitcoin, because every time it comes down to the level of this low range we was talking about, 9,800, somewhere around there, the order book just ramps up so quickly with buy orders that all selling dries up, and we start to see the support really come in. So.
Yeah, it's healthy. It seems,
Yeah.
If that rise just kept happening like we saw around Christmas time, I would be writing it out, but I'd be a little bit concerned.
Exactly. Yeah, it was just like straying so far from the moving average. It was bound, mean reversal. It's always going to happen. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next.
The next point we have here today, South Korea, or there's the chart there. Yeah, just a quick chart before we move on. So it's the double bottom there and the neckline, and since then it has bounced off the bottom. We've come up slightly in the last session, but we're still sitting around that price point. So possibly come back up above the neckline and go back towards 14. Go north of 14 maybe. Let's see what happens.
All right, here's South Korea.
South Korea, yeah. So South Korea is allowing cryptocurrency trading, just like we were talking last week, just to clear up this FUD fake news that had been spread around. South Korea is allowing trading, just you need to actually register, with a legitimate account. You can't.
So it's really interesting how they take, how this blows out of context and creates a lot of fear in the market. We can also say, was this by design or was this just an innocent accident?
Who knows? I want to speculate that they were sort of further kicking someone when they were down. I mean, let's add some more bullshit on the fire. Really, let's put some. If we paint this certain way like this, it will really scare people and make them worry that the sky's falling on their head. So. So there's that one. Puts that to bed really for whoever is talking about that. But we're not out of the woods yet. The next headline we've got here is this payment gateway Stripe have decided, as of I think today, they will drop Bitcoin as a payment method. So
let me open that up.
Bring that up a second. So Stripe are, they're basically a fiat payment gateway for people unfamiliar with them. They're essentially like a PayPal, which e-commerce and anyone working online wants to accept payments can use.
Shopify's number one payment processor is Stripe, so it's a huge processor, and wonder why they decided to do this. Interesting.
It's a bit of a spin, yeah. So there we have it. Stripe has decided to drop it. Maybe they're going to bring another crypto. And DigiByteCoin have already been there tweeting at them with a follow-up tweet, trying to, sort of big up their own service and say, why don't you consider us? So, for DigiByte fans that might be listening, there is maybe it got picked up by Stripe. That would be incredible news, and I would take that as I'm sure a pure bull run would come into the DigiByte market if that was to manifest. But we'll see what happens, see what Stripe decides and where they're going to go with that. Who's to know? I mean, DigiByte might be the selection. Maybe it's Bitcoin Cash. Who knows what they're going to go for? We don't know. We can only speculate. Yeah.
Wow.
So, very interesting. That.
I know a few people who used the Bitcoin option via Stripe on their e-commerce store. So that's It's too bad.
Yes, it's a bit of a surprise. And then I guess sort of last up we got a couple interesting headlines here to wrap it up. We got CNBC now telling us to buy Bitcoin. So I thought it was last week they were saying you must not, right? It was
it was a lot of FUD that the day, it's insane, the roller coaster ride here.
Yeah. So now is the best time. I think it was only in yesterday's show you were showing me a guy who was saying it was going to drop to $1,000, but it wouldn't disrupt the market.
Yeah. So
now,
confusing. I mean, these poor users at home watching this every morning going, what do I do? What's going on here? This is confusing. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a headache for anyone, I think. Maybe that's what it is, trying to shake out the weak hands. But there is a brilliant old trading trick which I think everyone should employ when they feel the need, and just press the off button, turn the chart off, turn the news off, go out, enjoy your life, and you feel confident in the investments you've made, because you didn't buy something because it's some crazy notion. You know, you bought Bitcoin because you believe in it. I hope anyway, and going to save on it, and you're going to, you know, put your savings there and try and buy the lows and let it raise up, and you know, see where it's going to take you, but obviously not over-invest or do anything crazy. So
yeah, speaking of buying, did you happen to get in on this second little dip that we had?
I've had buy orders all around that range, and we were surprised to see it go so low, because I set some right down in the book, and they filled. So we went in, within 10 minutes we bounced back and we were up 10%, and it was a rapid period of trading. And you know, we're talking, the last thing here we have to discuss is this payoff for 50 Cent, who released his album I think a year ago or something, or maybe longer. I think it was 2014, maybe 4 years ago. He released an album and he accepted payment over in Bitcoin. Wow. And he received, he has a holding of about 700 Bitcoin from album sales, and he never sold them. So he really did cash in on this, you know, like back in 2014 he sold the LP of 700 Bitcoin, which totaled at the time 400k. Not bad for record sales, but now he's really paid off, you know. So there's a great story.
Wow. Hopefully he doesn't get hit with another bankruptcy case. I think that's what got him last time when he...
Damn.
Well, it was because of taxes, or who knows? I don't remember the story.
These bastards will get you with something.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, we'll see what happens.
So should he change his name to 70 BTC?
50 Satoshis. No, Satoshis.
Oh, okay. This is no more 50 Cent. All right.
50
Satoshis.
I
heard some other interesting news. I heard you might have seen it on Reddit about Ledger being hacked. Some people were saying their Bitcoin balances
no way,
weren't quite the same when they logged into their Ledger to take a look, and I guess support's been pretty bad about that.
Right. Okay.
Kind of ignoring them and saying no, it's not possible, and I just saw that this morning. Pretty crazy if it's true. I can't really say it's true or not. I haven't dug enough into it. It's just a headline I saw.
Yeah.
Pretty scary though. I mean, you think that Ledger cold storage device is safe, but you have to remember it's still connected to a centralized server.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, if you have any more information on that, we'll have to see.
Yeah. We'll talk about that maybe on tomorrow's show. I'll dig that up.
That's mad. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, and thanks for listening. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave comments below. Don't forget to like us and subscribe. And that's it for today. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.